Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing something super fun. I am going to show you guys how to make your photos into drawings with any Cricut machine. You can use the Cricut Maker, the Cricut Explorer, the Cricut Joy that just came out. You can use any Cricut machine for this project. I really wanted to create a fun pen tool project that I think people could be super creative with. Scrapbooks, you can make coloring pages of family members. That would be pretty fun. You can use infusible ink pens and then put them on mugs and totes or coasters. They make amazing personalized gifts. The amount of things that you can do are endless. I love the hand-drawn look of these. And for this project, what I'm going to be using to create this is Photoshop. You can get a free trial right now, but you can get a monthly subscription if you seem like you want this for a little bit longer. But if you just want to do this project once and you don't already have Photoshop, they do have a free trial. And this is a really beginner project, so don't be scared away. Because it's Photoshop and you've never used it, I will walk you through exactly how to use it. Again, it is a pen tool project, so I'm just using the one that the pen tool that the machine came with. I have a 0.4 thin Cricut pen tool. And I also am using a black Crayola fine tip marker to fill in the lines after it's already drawn out. And I also used a few highlighters just to jazz it up a little at the end. You could use colored pencils, crayons. Honestly, it's up to you. So that's really all you need. And I'm gonna get started by showing you exactly how to use the Photoshop part of this project. Okay, so now that we're on the computer, I'm going to show you how to put your photo into Photoshop and how to clean it up so that it looks more like a drawing. So I'm just going to use a stock photo for this because I didn't know if like one of my family members or friends wanted their picture on the internet like that, and I didn't want to look at myself forever and just do my own picture. So we're just going to use a random person on this stock website. I'm just using Pexels, Pexels.com, and I'm just looking for free portraits that I could use. Honestly, the best things to use are really well lit photos. The better quality the picture is, the easier that Photoshop is going to detect all the lines around the facial features. So better pictures equal better drawings. So we're just going to go back up to the top. I'm going to use this guy with glasses because I think the glasses are such a cool element to the drawing. So I'm just going to copy this picture right here into Photoshop. Here's my Photoshop. I'm going to do File, New, and I'm going to click the clipboard selection. Then I'm going to go Control V, or you could just do Edit Paste. Now that we have this in a layer, I'm going to rename this layer just to make it easier while I talk to you guys about it. Double click on the letters. I'm going to say Portrait. Should we give him a name? Let's give him a name. Tim. His name is now Tim. Alright, so Tim is on this layer, and that's perfect. I want you guys to next make sure on the left-hand side that you have a black color as the foreground and a white color as the background. That is super important. If you don't, you can click this little black and white icon above it, and that will reset it to black and white. And the first thing that you're going to do is go to Filter at the top, click Filter, go to Filter Gallery right here. So once you're on the Filter Gallery, you're going to want to go to Sketch right here and then go to Photocopy, which is on the right hand side. And it might start off looking more like, I don't even know what the default was, but maybe in the middle of both. But what I do is I raise the darkness and I lower the detail. So I want to lower the detail not all the way, but it really depends on the picture. So however much detail you think would look nice, you are going to be going in and erasing a lot of these little specks and everything. So just kind of get what the basic idea of what you're going to want. Okay, so now this is already looking really, really good. All I want to do now is go to the eraser tool. It's this tool right over here on the left-hand side. So to make your brush size bigger and smaller, you can go to the left-hand side at the top and you can change the brush size here of your eraser. You want to leave the hardness all the way up. And while you're working, another great hotkey to know is how to make your brush size bigger and smaller while you're working, so you don't have to keep going up to the left-hand side at the top. You can just use the keyboard, the bracket keys on your keyboard actually will make your brush size bigger and smaller depending on how much you click it. So right now all you're going to want to do is go in and just erase all of the specks that you know are not essential to the picture itself. We really just want to minimize how much ink we use. So all of that is not going to, we don't want any of that in our picture. So just look at all the stuff that are not essential lines and erase them. And this does take a bit of time, so turn on some music, erase for a while. I think these normally take me about half an hour to get completely done. But if you have a bigger picture, or maybe the person has lots of freckles you need to get rid of or whatnot, you're going to probably take about a half an hour to an hour to just clean up the picture. So now I'm just going to erase all the little details and show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, so now that I erased basically everything that is not essential of a line, I feel like I'm going to now go and add with my paintbrush tool just little lines that I feel like didn't really come up when I put the filter on it. So I want to do a very thin, so the paintbrush tool's on the left, by the way. Looks like a little paintbrush. And I want to do a really thin line, so I'm going to start with 3 pixels and see if that matches the width of the lines that are already here. I might go lower, it just depends on your picture. And I also want to make sure that the hardness is all the way at 100% and the opacity right here is at 100%. So that's basically all I'm really concerned about. I did File New and then pasted it again on a new tab so that I could keep going back and forth to make sure that I have all of the kind of lines that make this guy. So, sorry, Tim needs to look like Tim. So, I did actually get rid of his little pimple, which I don't think Tim is going to be that mad at me about. He's having a bad day that day. I don't think that's a birthmark. I think we can get rid of it. And he has this little soul patch, so it came up on the drawing really dark, so I kind of wanted to get rid of it. It was really annoying me. I don't think Tim will mind that his soul patch is no longer as dark as it was. Now his lips are a little neglected here as well, so I went back to the picture and saw that he does have a lip there. So I'm just going to add just a little bit more detail. I'm not going to fill in the entire thing. I still want it to look like a drawing, but I do want to make sure that there is some sort of a distinguishing lip there. So I think that's starting to look a little bit more like Tim. I think adding the mustache is helping. My mustache is not great, but it will look fine. Okay, so now that you have all of your lines that you're missing added and you're happy with what it looks like when you zoom out and it looks like the picture and you're living for this, then all you need to do is go to your background layer. On the right, you can see there's Tim and then there's background. You want to double click background and that will bring up a new layer dialog box. Just click OK. And now that you have a normal layer, have that selected. Change your color on the left hand side. Instead of black, pick a color that you really don't mind looking at for a while here. So just pick a color and then go on the left hand side. There is a paint bucket tool. It could be hidden under a gradient tool, which I think is the default for it to look like on the left hand side. So if you've never opened Photoshop before, it might be underneath the gradient tool. So you just hold it down, you click and hold and go to paint bucket tool. Okay, so now that you have your paint bucket tool selected and your background layer selected, just click on the background with the tool and blue will appear everywhere, or whatever color you chose. And now we can see where all the white is, and we don't like white. We don't want white, because what white would be is it's going to show up on our cut file, and the cut file is going to think that we want to outline that with the pen tool, which we don't want to do. We just want to outline the black lines with the pen tool. So go back to the Tim layer now, and now you have this blue layer is just there, but you want to be on the Tim layer now, and go on the left hand side where your magic wand tool is, which is the fourth tool down. It might be hidden under one of these object selection tools, quick selection tools. It could be hidden under it, but it's the fourth tool down. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do with the magic wand tool is select the white areas. I have it where I can select multiple, and the selection will keep adding to each other, so that I can just go in first and select all the white and then press delete. So what I'm just going to show you how to do is what I do. So I'm going to select this white here, and maybe this white here, and some white down here, and some white here, and I'm just going for all the big pieces of white right now that I know that I can just easily select. I'm just clicking around my image. If you don't get all the white right now, it's totally fine. So we're just doing as much as we see here that would make it easy for us. Okay, so that's enough for now. So that's the idea, and now we're going to press the backspace key on our keyboard, and that's going to delete that white. So that's exactly what we want to do with all of the white. You don't have to go too crazy. If there's pieces that you can't do and they're just too small, you can go in with the eraser tool and just erase that part of the white. This just makes it easier to make it exact and erase all of the white exactly. So go to, now you can select deselect or Control D, and that will start your selections over. So now you have a clean slate again, and you can go back to selecting. So we're still on the magic wand tool. I just want to go back to selecting all of the white spaces, just the ones that really make it easy for me. You can always zoom in if it helps you see a little patch of white better before you click on it. But that's basically all you do now. Again, it takes just a little bit of time because you want to be sure that you get all the white out of the image. It just depends on your image how much white you ended up with. But yeah, that's basically all you do. If you accidentally delete the black and your whole picture just goes away, you can always do edit, undo. You can do that as many times as you want. So if you really mess up, then you can definitely undo it. But this is pretty simple. It doesn't have to be perfect. If I want this particular area that might be a little white in it, but I kind of just want it to be something I could just color in and make a shape out of, you could just leave it, because what we're going to do, this is going to end up being a cut file. So basically it's just going to take whatever is not transparent. So whatever is black or white or gray that's on the image, it's just going to want to outline it. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through and clean up all the white, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so now that Tim is basically done, he looks clean, he looks fresh, he looks good, and he looks like his picture, most importantly. He pretty much looks the same. We are going to go to the bottom layer and just hide it. And now I'm going to save it as a PNG. So keeping the background hidden, when you click the little eye, it's going to just be hidden, but it's not going to save it into the file itself. Okay, so once you open a new project, you can upload the image that you just created. Okay, so find your PNG. You just want to click simple, since it's a simple picture, it's just the background and whatnot. Click continue, and it will take you to this area. I want you to click preview and just double check that it is going to highlight all of the areas that you want. If there is something that you missed in the Photoshop file, here is where you can erase it. So you can go to erase and find the little speck that it seems to be picking up and erase it with that. I think I'm good. I don't see any on mine, but that is how you would do it with yours. Or if you just see something that you don't like anymore, you could go in and, oops, I can undo. I want to just zoom in and let's see the preview again. So there's this speck right here that I don't know if I want in my picture. So I'm going to go to the erase key, go right over that speck and click it. It is going to take you out of preview, but it will erase what you didn't want. So you can always go back to preview, make sure it's gone. And that's it. So he looks good to me. He still looks like Tim. So we're done with that. Just click continue. And you want to save as a cut file, as a cut image, even though we're going to be drawing it. And click save. And then just insert the image to the mat. And there he is. You can make him as big or as small as you want. Even though he was a certain size in Photoshop, now he's a cut file, so he can be any size he wants to be. I'm going to make him fit my card. So I have a 5x7 card, so this is about as big as he's going to get. I can make him longer if I wanted to, but that would distort the image. So I'm just going to make him like so. Okay, so that's the perfect size for me. Now that it's the right size you want it, just click where it says cut and line type and change it to draw. And that's all you do. So now you can just load your material into your machine and go through the steps of drawing it. Okay, so load your pen tool into the pen tool side, which is side A. Press it all the way down until it clicks. Close the clamp. And load your material into the Cricut. For the material that I have right now, I just have it set to paper. Once it loads, you can go ahead and just press the cut button and it will start drawing. Okay, so this is the drawing that we're left with once we draw it on with the Cricut. Obviously everything is outlined. It kind of gives me kind of looks like the Juno intro scene to me. But now we're gonna make it look more like the picture that we had on Photoshop. So, take this off. Okay, so once you take it off your mat, you can now fill in all of the little lines with your Crayola marker so it starts looking a lot more like the picture that you had on the computer.
I stones into the sea. I'll give you some long time. I need to go catch a high tide.
Okay, so that's it. So I colored mine in with the highlighter and added some words and such, and I think it came out super cool. I loved him. I think he's really smart too. So he's part of the family now. I have all of these people. There's me, and we'll call him Andrew, and we'll call him Jeremy. So it's just a big happy family now. Thank you for watching. I hope you were able to come up with something super creative to do with this. It's so much fun. It comes out so cool. So I don't know, I just love this craft. This is my favorite so far, hands down. I really, really love doing this. So let me know what you think and leave a comment down below. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Zero, what do you think of Tim? You like him? So funny story. When I registered Zero's microchip, he was already registered under the name of Tim. So Zero's old name was Tim. But meet the new Tim.